So, hello, this is session 2 of 3 for Tales from the Loop. I'll flash that by. Look at that. This is a game of a 1980s that never was. And it comes from Free League Publishing, released by Modiphius in the States. We set up things last time, got the character set up, we set up the mysteries. And we're going to roll back a little bit on that. We have a new character coming in, so we'll get all that set up. If you're watching this and you like watching RPG APs, and if you don't like watching RPG APs, then you should probably turn the video off now. But anyway, this is part of the Gauntlet Hangouts, which is an online gaming community. We do 100-plus games each month. Many of us record our sessions. If you're curious about that, you can check that out at gauntlet-rpg.com. And if you like these kinds of videos, you can subscribe to this channel. Standard for us, we're using the X card, so you may see us mention that or do the sign, or may hear us talk about that because we are dealing with kids and suspense issues that may pop up from time to time. So we will see if that happens. So what happens in Tales from the Loop is this is 1980s with slightly higher technology in some regards. Robots and maglev transports and certain kinds of things like that. But we've still got cell phones that are the size of bricks, that are huge, that are rare. We've still got very basic computers for people. People have Commodore 64s, and they have Apple Macintoshes if they're fancy, and then they have TRS 80s, and they have computers are just starting to get interesting, and they do have basic internet connections, but they're not the end all be all yet in this environment, in this setting. So the loop is probably a particle accelerator. I don't like defining exactly what it is, but it is a project that encircles our town. Our town is Wayward, Ohio. It is a Midwestern city. The loop is currently under construction. It is being built right now, and so there are different dig sites and lots of transport trucks and construction going on around this small Midwestern city that hopes to reap the benefits of this major project. But the loop is weird, and its weirdness reaches back even in time. So even before the loop is made, strange things occur, and our kids are investigating those, or finding out about those, even as they live their daily lives. There are some principles about this game that I think are important to restate. This is a place that is full of fantastic, strange things, and that's really cool and interesting. And yet everyday life for kids is mundane and boring. Adults are out of touch, and they sometimes don't listen to you. They're sometimes not helpful. And while it may be dangerous, this world, the kids don't die. That's the important thing to note. So that is not on the table. Bad things can happen, but death is not on the table. So what I'm going to have us do is introduce our previous characters, introduce a new character, and then I'll frame where we are at. Pavel, can I start with you?
Sure. I am playing Washington Star, who goes by the nickname of Butch. Washington is a jock by type. He is 13-year-old. He is a representative of our school in the baseball team. He, for the last year, winning of the local tournament, he got his BMX bike. So he's also very fascinated by riding, jumping, and doing all cool, crazy stuff on his BMX bike. He also pushed his brother a little bit too far to ride his crappy bike to good standards, and his brother has fallen off and broken his arm, and now his brother is bigger pain than any benefit. And because of that, the dad refuses to fill in the pool in the backyard, so we have to like sit around an empty pool instead of having fun in the summer in the pool.
I love, by the way, you have really rolled that out like a brother. You managed to get his arm broken, and now he's a big pain in the ass, and the pool's not getting filled and things like that. Not the fact that he's lost his entire summer worth of athleticism. So I think that is absolutely perfect.
Yeah, I'm trying to get there, because at the beginning there was a little bit of like, oh, I'm sorry and so on, but for some reason Butch thought that, hey, his arm will get back together in a week, yeah, and then it takes this month and the second month and the third month.
Not good. All right. Well, thank you much, Butch. So our next character is Joshua J.J. Johnson, right?
Yes.
And how many people call you JJ?
I mean, there's me, and when my mom's not too tired, I've sort of convinced her to do it. And there are a couple kids that call me that, like, with this weird tone in their voice and like mocking, but hey, they're still using it. But mostly it's like nerd or bookworm or less fun stuff. But anyways, Josh is 12. He's the bookworm type and loves like sci-fi fantasy books. He's really close friends with like the school librarian who's gone missing recently. He lives at home with both of his parents, but especially during the summer, they're on sort of opposite shifts. His mom is a nurse and has been picking up more work over the summer. And so she mostly works like late at night and comes home to sleep during the day. He's smart. He's pretty good with techie type things and less good with people-y type things or you know, anything that might be PE related or physical. Let's see. He's sort of questioning his identity and trying to find out his place in the world, sort of proto gay, but doesn't really quite realize it yet. Very close with Butch, very competitive with oh shoot, Lisa. I have a dog named Tiny, a big dumb golden retriever who's awesome and sweet and has a giant tail. And also there's a weird man that's been following me everywhere, and I can't figure out who he is.
What does your father do?
I'm not sure. Oh, he definitely works at the loop facility.
Okay, so he's one of the people that's is he a tech or is he an accountant or what do you imagine?
I think he's a tech, but he's somewhere like halfway between the people that are constructing the loop and the actual scientists.
Okay.
He's not really like a project leader or anything, but he's not just like building cinder block walls.
Okay, yeah, maybe more like the internal electronics or the heating, cooling, all that kind of stuff. All right, yeah. That makes sense to me. And then Lisa, tell us about Lisa.
Lisa Diamante. She's the little sister to 6 older brothers. Her family owns one of the garages in the city. It's been around for a long time. And their life is very much based around that garage for her family. So she is accustomed to her parents up in the middle of the night to go and pick someone up. She's taken a bazillion rides in the tow truck with her dad, just because, you know, her mom was busy with something else, and gone to a bunch of accident sites. There's always been wrecked cars, you know, in the back lot behind in storage until the person can get out of the hospital, come and get the car. There's impounded trucks, you know, and cars. It's just, and their house is right behind the garage. So it's that kind of, their whole life is that thing, and that's what she's grown up around. So she has seen people in bad situations a lot. She's seen lots of tragedy and things. And because she's seen it as a kid, she's taken it in a little bit differently than other people. and because people's personal effects are around her, she's grown to be very like she likes to look through those things and figure people out. Maybe Harriet the Spy was a book she read and she went, this is a kindred spirit. But she is one of those people who will, check through the glove box in a truck or a car that's been brought in to see what kind of people and make guesses about what they're like. And then when they come, she'll go and stare at them to see if they match her conception of what they would have been like. So she's a little bit odd, but still she's got hard work ethic. She's always there to do the things her family needs to do. And this last year, adolescence played a horrible trick on her, and she matured and with assets, and she wasn't ready for that. So this summer is all about the biggest possible sweatshirt so she can hide this fact. And though she's a little bit on the tall side, you wouldn't know it because she carries herself very slumped right now. So she's kind of a borderline spooky girl with some real issues about, well, she's got a really warm sweater on during a really hot summer. Let's put it that way.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much. So Jan, why don't you tell us about your character, and then we'll figure out why you're friends with these misfits.
Yeah, sure. So my character's name is John Alexander Petrovsky. He doesn't go by that ever. The only person who ever calls him that is probably his mother and father. Mostly his mother, probably when she's angry at him. Most people just call him John or JP. He's a troublemaker. He's 13 years old. He has like a MacGyver haircut. I think he saw the first season of MacGyver, and he's just like secretly in love with him. He loves everything about him. That's his idol, I think, at the moment. He wears blue jeans, like busted up Converse. He's got a white T-shirt. He just like cuffs the sleeves. In fact, I'll do it right now with this one, just so you guys can see how he likes to wear it. And yeah, he's actually he's always trying to seek attention. He's an attention seeker. His parents are really busy. They love him dearly, and I think they feel guilt about never being around. So even though he's doing bad stuff around the house, they're always really nice and loving to him, but only for a short period of time, because inevitably they have to go back to doing some kind of work. I'm not sure what they do. Maybe we can come up with something during. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I'll ask about that when you're through.
Yeah. I think he secretly loves to dance. But he would never let anybody know, and he would never do it in public. But I think sometimes in the morning or at night, he'll put something on, on his. Did they have Walkman? Yeah, Walkman, I guess. Yeah, Walkman, and like dance around. Maybe when he has to do chores at home, he'll like pretend the vacuum is a guitar, and do that kind of thing. What else can I say? I have a pride, which I think he's quite proud about. This falls in with his drive to seek attention and want everyone's like admiration. And that is on the second floor of school. During class one day, I hopped out the window and ran across the roof of the lower floor, touched this wall on the far end, and then ran all the way back and got back in my seat without the teacher noticing. And it's kind of like made the rounds through the rumor circles at school, and everyone knows I've done this, and I'm very proud of that fact.
Awesome. Let me walk through some of the questions from the playbook here. What is your iconic item?
I have a Swiss Army knife.
And is it something that was gifted to you? Does it say MacGyver on the side of it, like a branded piece of merchandise? I have one of those, so I can ask about that.
Yeah. So I think it's probably one of those, like a gift from one of those cool uncles who's like, I never ever see you, but when I see you, I want you to remember me. So I'm going to give you this thing that no one else is going to give you because you really shouldn't have it, but I'm cool. So here you go, Swiss Army knife.
Sherry and I don't know anything about being the cool aunt and uncle like that at all.
I've never been the one. Also, Lisa has a Swiss Army knife. So that's cool. We're like.
There you go. A little bond over that, maybe.
What is your problem?
Yeah, so my problem is essentially that my parents work too much and they don't discipline me. So essentially, I seek their attention, and I'm a troublemaker because I want people to pay attention to me.
Let me ask you about that. Siblings, or are you an only child?
I think I have a younger sister.
Okay.
I think her name is Joanna.
Okay.
And she is. So this is actually going to even make the situation even more annoying. I think that I'm like emotionally very level-headed as a kid. Mm-hmm. But I'm actually a really terrible troublemaker. But from my parents' perspective, I'm like the good kid, which only makes my invisibility worse. Mm-hmm. Whereas she's actually a good kid, but she's like emotionally not stable, and so she has these meltdowns and freakouts, and it's actually a little bit more difficult for the parents. So they give her more attention than they give me, even though I'm trying to get attention.
I love that. That is great. So your parents are busy a lot. Do you think you're solidly upper middle class or wealthy, or are they middle class and just working all the time? How do you imagine that?
Yeah, so I think they're like immigrants. So I pictured them as being like Russian or Eastern European or whatever. And I think they came to the country with nothing and then just worked really, really hard, worked their way up. And, are one of those really hardworking immigrant families that are just trying to give the best life for their kids, So they're probably middle class, I imagine, like in the suburbs or something like that. But I also imagine that and I think they've got decent jobs, good jobs, but maybe like jobs that have a good room for growth, but maybe because they have like language difficulties or like, maybe the community's like a little bit racist against them or whatever, they haven't quite succeeded as much, and as a result, they have to put in all the extra hours.
And that certainly makes sense. Midwest, even immigrant families coming from Europe and Russia have issues when they come over here. And certainly Ohio is more of a hotbed of German immigrants than some of the others. Let me ask you this: do you think they work for other people, or do you think they run a business, or?
Oh yeah, I think they work for other people. I imagine they both work for like bigger things, like maybe a hospital or an architecture firm or an engineering firm or something along those lines. Somewhere where they can get lost. And also, I think John was actually born in Russia, but and came over when he was like 1. So probably everyone knows him as like the Russian kid or something like that, even though he's effectively like grown up his entire life in Ohio.
Oh, that is perfect. Yeah. So both your parents have jobs that they sink their time into, probably on call a significant amount. That makes sense. What is your drive?
My drive is I'll do something so badass they can't ignore me, then I'll be cool.
Okay. I like that. And your pride? Is that that's the run across
the roof. Yeah.
Okay. Let's figure out your relationship to the other kids, and then I'm going to ask you about the NPC and the anchor and your favorite song.
A question before?
Absolutely.
I'm curious, how big of a bully is John? Are you a bully at all, or do you just like seek attention other ways?
No, I'm not a bully, not at all. I'm like the kid who like would be like, let's see if this sets on fire, or like let's throw this rock at this window and just see if something happens. I don't know what will happen, but something might happen. Anything that will cause someone to be like, whoa, that was badass.
Yeah. Let's climb up on top of the reservoir and see if we can make it up there and see what's up there. Let's clamber under the bridge and see if we can make it, from one side to the other.
Yeah, and I think I'm the kind of kid that other parents don't want like their kids to hang out with. I'm like the bad peer pressure. Like, let's do this. Like the kind of thing where your kid would never ever be in trouble unless he was hanging out with John, and then he would probably be getting into trouble.
Okay. I like that. So for each of the other kids, you can pick one of the ones that they list on the playbook, or come up with one of your own, essentially to see your connection to them. So any of those that you see there?
Sorry, when you guys were introducing your characters, I was just actually finishing up my character sheet, so I just have like a kind of sketchy understanding of them. You guys should just give me like a 3-sentence synopsis, just so I have a better idea.
Sure. Let's do the same order, Pavel.
Washington is a player in a school baseball team. He also rides his BMX bike. He has problem with his brother, and he's, I would say, honest kid that will do nasty things if anyone calls him a chicken. And he also very totally admires Coach Bill, like the baseball team coach. It's like his idol.
Perfect. And then JJ.
JJ is bookworm, sci-fi fantasy nerd kid who hangs out in the library too much. He's got his dog, golden retriever, Tiny. His pride is about that nothing scares him, and he's sort of trying to figure out his place and his sexuality in the world. As far as like a potential tie that I saw, you had mentioned maybe one of your parents working at the hospital, and my mom is a nurse there, so you could tie something in there.
Nice. And then Lisa?
Lisa is the youngest and the only girl in a family that runs a garage here. She has a bunch of older rowdy brothers. She's kind of a weirdo. This summer, she seems to be wearing a very heavy sweatshirt, and she watches people, and she makes up stories about the kinds of things that she does, but she's pretty good at everything. And she's pretty nice, like she's responsible and all those.
Is she a Tom girl?
Yeah, very much, where she's just as good as the boys are. So if the guys do something, she can do it too. So she's a little competitive on that side.
Okay, sounds good. So I think my relationship with JJ is that our parents were probably friends from the hospital, and probably like I became friends with him because there was a babysitting situation or something like that. I think we're friends because I can get him to do art stuff that, like, I can call him a chicken and get him to do badass things, and that's fun to me. Just be like, you wanna throw this rock at you? He's like, no, like, come on, chicken. And then like we'll throw it together and run away, that kind of deal, you know.
That's cool. My playbook actually has a connection where we're like siblings, so I sort of like that idea that like our parents became friends very early and we just sort of grew up together.
Yeah, I like that. And then what else? Let's see. Washington, Butch. I feel like we probably met like doing bicycle stuff, you know, like in the forest, like on a dirt track or something like that. And let's see, I think my relationship with him is I'm competitive with him. Like I want to one-up him. He's like, maybe people look up to how good he is on the bicycle and I'm not. And so I have this like need to either put him down or one-up him. What do you think?
Yeah, makes sense.
And how then does Butch feel back about JP?
How old is Butch anyways? Is he older?
Also 13.
Wait, did you say 13 or 14?
13.
Okay, yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm thinking. So do you have like a couple of people who like really admire you for you being so crazy and courageous? Do you have like your fan club or something? Like, I don't know.
No, I don't think I don't think my exploits really. I think they would be cool and people would admire me if I actually was like at all charismatic or like, but I'm not, you know, I'm not. And so I'm just like the weird kid who does horrible things, you know?
We're all that kid at 13, but you know.
You know, I'm like the weird foreign kid and I like want to be cool, but I just, even though I'm not foreign at all, really.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking at my suggested relationships and I'm thinking that we need something else over here.
Yeah, please.
But I also don't have much idea because I asked about this like fan club because I wanted to write that maybe I wanna be like, so people look at me and I just like do well and then yeah it's cool, but then they go back and say, have you heard John did this crazy thing and then police was looking for him and they're like, man, I wish they like do some tales about me, but no, he just the good kid who performs in the baseball team.
Yeah,
so,
I think that still makes sense, but I just wouldn't call it a fan club. I just call it like, people talk, right? Like they talk about me, but that doesn't necessarily mean they like me or they're friends with me.
Yeah, the sense that you think that perhaps that JP is, the rumors about him are more exciting than the actual reality is.
Yeah, maybe from your perspective, people think I'm cool or like me, but from my lived experience, that's really not the case.
So okay, so I think maybe we can write it like, I wanna be as cool as JP.
Yeah, that is perfect. Awesome. And then finally, JP, your relationship with Lisa.
Yeah, I think my relationship with Lisa will be simple 13-year-old relationship with a girl, a younger girl who's hanging out with a bunch of boys, and that is, what is Lisa doing here? Like she's just a young girl. She's not strong. She's not cool. Get her out.
Lisa, how do you feel about that?
Easy. John is such a jerk. It's okay. At 13, that's how all your friend groups are. Always one who torments you.
Awesome. What did you pick for a relationship to an NPC?
I actually picked my math teacher. Oh no, excuse me. That's my anchor. PC. Yeah. So I think there's like a local Pakistani convenience store owner. His name is Faisal, and I steal from him. But I think he's seen me do something that was like really nice, like maybe help an animal or like, because I'm not really a bad kid. I just like get myself into trouble. But when when it matters, I'm a good person. So I think he's seen me do some nice things without me knowing. And as a result, he just lets me steal like gummies and stuff from his store and even sometimes gives me free ones. And like, I don't know if I know that he knows that I steal from him. I think maybe I just think I'm a badass, and yeah. And he's actually, he's maybe rude to the other kids, but he's nice to me, even though I steal from him. I picture that.
I like that. Are you going to feel super guilty if you ever get caught?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, like I don't run through. I'm at that age where I still haven't developed that part of the brain that understands consequences. So that's not something I've ever thought about, right?
Right.
Once when I actually come around and I'm forced to think about them, I definitely feel bad about everything I do. Awesome.
And then your anchor?
My anchor is my math teacher. I think I think I'm actually a pretty smart kid, although I put on this big front and I don't I'll skip class and whatever, but I'm actually pretty smart. And my math teacher recognizes that fact and I think is a little patient with me, and he's willing to put up, or she's willing to put up with me because they know that I have potential.
What's their name?
Let's think here. I picture this teacher as a Haitian black man, maybe balding, big, thick, black-rimmed glasses. He has a PhD in mathematics, but he wants to teach kids. I think his name is, let's see here, let's find a good Haitian black name. Let's say Emmanuel. Yeah, and then I don't know. Let's see if I can find a last name. I mean, they speak French, right? So something French. Manuel Duchamp, let's say.
Okay. And your favorite song and why?
My favorite song is "Dancing in the Dark" by Bruce Springsteen. And why? Because Bruce Springsteen is fucking cool. That's why. And anyone who doesn't think so doesn't know anything about music.
This is the period of Bruce Springsteen, Born in the USA, one of the albums with the most #1 hits in this era. Lots of singles, was huge. Tons of videos for those. So that is perfect. So what I want to do is I want to summarize what happened last time. See if I missed anything from the characters, and then I'm going to do a home scene with everybody, and then we'll figure out how you all get together. So we decided that the Friends Clubhouse is the sort of pool shed that is in the back of Butch's house. The pool is not usable. There is a pool cover on it, but they've kind of got some stuff set up there, some books and things out in this pool shed, some makeshift chairs, and they've got a little fridge, I believe, out there, or at least a cool box where they keep the sodas in. And they were hanging out there talking during the day, because it is the last like week and a half of summer before school starts. And they heard a noise, and they went out and they saw that something had fallen and had sort of collapsed the pool cover in. And so they went to extricate it, and it did not go particularly well. Mistakes were made. People sloped around in the gunk that was at the bottom of the pool. And then when they actually got it out, they found that it was a giant bullfrog, like a larger than normal one. This is a classic Midwestern frog. It's huge, probably not that big, but it did bite, which kind of freaked them out. But they were able to net it, and they threw it into the bottom of a steamer trunk that they had poured water in, which I'm sure would not have damaged the steamer trunk. They put the bullfrog in the bottom of it, and then the bullfrog began to bang around like louder than it should have.
Wait, what's a steamer trunk?
So it's imagine like a 3-foot by 2-foot trunk, like a big old-fashioned trunk that you'd see in the movies, them carrying onto ships and things like that. And it's enormous.
Luggage people used as coffee tables a lot in the 80s.
Yeah, they're big enough to set things on as side tables and sit on and stuff. Eventually, the noise stopped, and the group decided that they would carefully open and take a look at what had happened with the toad, or the bullfrog, and maybe try and capture it, put it in something smaller than a steamer trunk that they could actually see. And when they did, when they opened it, the bullfrog flew out on wings, on metal sort of wings, and it buzzed up into the air, and then it took off into the woods. And the kids, of course, freaked out about that because bullfrogs don't have wings. But they found that there was some icky purple substance that had been secreted by the bullfrog. That they went and got a chemistry set from one of the neighbor kids and did some testing and found out it was kind of nasty. And they suspect that someone has, this is sort of the hypothesis and belief that they have, sorry, orange, not purple, that someone has kind of weaponized a bullfrog. Like there are probably some robotic bits in there. And they don't know why anyone would do that. And that is where we left off. Did I miss any key pieces of information from those returning
What
dates?
month is this?
So this would be like end of July, beginning of August.
The bullfrog, when it was making its noise and when it was out in view, Tiny, my dog, she was like weirdly afraid of it. She's a very adventurous dog, and she was like whining and backing up away from the smell of it.
Yeah. No, good point. Good point. Anything else?
Butch might not have very well covered up what was happening because he went into his home from the yard to change his clothes. So probably he left a lot of evidence that there was something happening on while the parents and the brother were gone somewhere. So I don't know. Maybe it will return to bite me back.
Yeah. So this is where we want to take up. I want to take up essentially later that day or the next day, as we are again still the kids are out for summer. I want to do a home scene, personal scene with each person, and then we'll figure out how you're back. So let's start then with Butch.
I would just like to make a note that
Sure.
I thought about going and meeting with my NPC contact, police officer Karen Richards, at some point. Maybe trying to question her. Maybe she's also investigating these big bullfrogs. Since not sure if now or later, I would like to go and talk.
Yeah,
to her
probably
about
later. We'll want to start with the home scene, then you can kind of figure out how you want to play that out. So this is an exciting day, right? All this happened, and then everybody had to go home, and you're still wondering about the bullfrog thing. When your parents come in, and the back screen door slides open, and your dad's like, "Butch, could you please come in here?"
Of course, Dad. And I would just probably leave my room and just go down to see what they want.
And you'll see that your dad is kind of red-faced. Your brother is sitting there on one of the chairs, like grinning, just grinning. And your mom is like almost weeping. And your dad's like, why is there mud all through the house and down to the laundry room? What is going on?
Yeah. There was some problem with the pool, and the wind was blowing very strong, and it blew the cover. So I had to go in and reattach the cover back, and then I just walk there to just leave my dirty clothes, because we are not using the pool, so it was a little bit dirty over there. I'm just looking back, and the pool and the cover is still not attached.
Right.
And in the end, I figured out I might need you to help me to really reattach the cover. It was not enough hands to really properly do it,
And,
Sorry.
And he's like, sorry is not enough. You need to go and clean that all up now, so your mother doesn't have to do it.
Really, Dad? Oh, come on! I was doing the good job in fighting with the pool.
And he leans in and he goes, half done is not done at all. So I need you to clean this up. And he kind of grabs, pulls you in. He says, I need you to do this now before your mom gets upset. And like more serious than you've heard him do. And he's like really serious. Need you to go and do that now.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I pick up on some kind of silver lining over there, and I just look back at the pool. But if I clean up now and then we go back and reattach it, we'll have to clean up back again. So why don't we go and fix the pool first? You and me. And we can help.
And he says, Go up to your room. And he's like really angry.
Yeah. So, okay. I'll just like walk to the first floor and go back to my room.
And as you're going up the stairs, you actually hear your mom sobbing.
Gosh, this was such a cool day before they came back home. Such a downers they are.
And I think we'll cut from that scene. Your dad has you stay up there. He essentially grounds you in your room. You don't really care, but it's a weird day.
Yeah.
Patrick, I assume there are days when you bike down to the bookstore.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, especially since like it's summer and I couldn't go to the school library anyways, but even if I could sneak in while the librarian was there during the summer, like she's not been there and I don't know what's going on.
So you are heading down early morning. I think I have the name of the bookstore written down. Oh, the Stacks with 2 X's.
That was it, yeah.
Yeah. And you're heading down to the Stacks, and get there early because on Saturdays they roll out the 5 for $1 cart, and sometimes they throw good stuff on there, and usually there's some chat and you can talk with the owners and stuff. And you will see your dad. Like, he went out. You figured he was at work, but you actually see him
like
downtown.
Oh, not like in the bookstore.
No.
Oh, I got real excited for a moment. Oh, man. Let's see. Tiny's definitely with me.
Yeah.
So as I see him, and like, what is he near in the downtown?
It looks like he's coming off out of the diner. It's like mid-morning, but he's coming out of that diner.
All right. So yeah, I sort of come mostly to a halt with my bike and like jump off and let it sort of crash and fall against a tree a little bit. It's fine. It's whatever.
Okay.
And I'll sort of grab Tiny's collar to keep her from like barking and running towards him. And like I'm gonna try and, because I'm super stealthy. Like,
That's right.
People don't know that about me, but I'm really good at hiding and sneaking. So I'm gonna follow him, and Tiny's not gonna give me away. Like, she's a good girl and she understands. Shh, shh, shh. So there's a lot of shh, just a lot of that.
Absolutely. So I think I'm going to actually have you roll sneak.
Let's see. Yes, my mighty sneak score. Oh, what? See, that is obviously wrong. That's no.
Did you want to spend a point of luck?
I think so. I would
Absolutely.
I would
You're losing money not doing that.
I know, right? I would love to call my iconic item here, but I genuinely don't think Tiny is helping.
No.
But I will spend that. No, what? 0?
So you are kind of moving up, and your dad kind of turns around, and you see this other guy come out of the diner, and you can tell that like there's some kind of argument or upset between them that's about to start. You don't know who this other person is. You've never seen them, and your dad catches you out of the corner of your eye, out of the corner of his eye, and he kind of does this thing and says something very sharp to him, and the other guy goes and backs up into the diner, and your dad's like, "Hey!"
I think like as he's making that motion, I think quickly like let go of Tiny so that she goes like romping and barking and running up on him, and I come chasing after like, oh, sorry, I tried to stop her. We're going to the bookstore, and she just ran away from me.
Yeah, I was hoping I'd run into you down here at the bookstore.
You want to come with me to the bookstore?
Yeah, I won some money in the golfing this morning, so let's go over and my treat.
Oh, I gotta show you. There's so many authors I have to show you. You haven't come down with me in months. There's this one, and we have to go see Roger Zelazny, and there's a couple of Heinleins that I haven't read, and then and it's just on and on and on and on.
And he goes with you. He's met the owners. He's like, hello, and the owners actually like you enough that when you come in, they take Tiny and they bring Tiny up behind the counter so that Tiny doesn't run around, and they've got like a doggy treat, and they'll play with him while you guys are walking around.
Yeah, I think it's just this thing of like I'm handing him book after book after book, and he's building up this pile and like slipping half of them back onto the shelf, sort of thing.
I see. I see this. The elf girl on this one has some assets, huh?
Yeah, they're traditional jungle wear.
Oh yeah. All right. See if we can find some more like this. I don't mind that one. And he'll say, so I wanted to ask you about something.
All right. Was it a book recommendation? I have a bunch.
No. So I was talking with Harold at the and he said that they're starting a youth league for soccer, and that they're trying to get kids together for that. And I wondered if maybe you wanted to do that. I know you didn't like baseball or football or any of the other stuff, but soccer's just a lot of running around and kicking. That's all that is. You don't actually have to use your hands. It's kind of crazy. I thought you might like it. It's kind of European.
Well, I mean, like, baseball went really bad. I mean, that just I thought we talked about like maybe there are other strengths in the world.
I want to give you the opportunity. I just want you to think about it, in case, because I might have signed you up, and if you don't want to, I can take that back.
It's okay. No, I mean, if you're excited about it, I mean, it's European. That's different. I could try that. Yeah. I mean, what's the worst that could?
Not a lot of upper body stuff. It's not like golf or baseball or anything like that.
Golf. that's okay. Yeah, I guess I can try. Do you have to wear like? Is there a uniform?
Yeah, to get the uniform, you get these little shin guards. I went down to Universal Athletics, and I got these the shoes with the cleats on them, but they're not like golf cleats. They're like chunky cleats.
Do you want to try golf again? I'm getting mixed messages.
No. I mean, they're not like golf cleats. They're rubber cleats on the bottom.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, they don't rehearse that often, do they?
It's actually called a practice, not a rehearsal.
No, I got it.
Okay. Well, just think about it. And he will spend a lot more on you than you would have expected. Like he drops a full 20 on you for books here. And when you start to do that, well, maybe a couple more, he'll throw a couple more on the stack.
All right. Well, this is an interesting turn of events. Not comfortable with all of it, but I do have a big stack of books, so it's gone pretty well. Yeah.
I'm going to cut from you to Lisa. Your mom got you up early, and you have spent the last hour shopping at Kmart with your mom, and essentially you are buying all of the back to school stuff for all your brothers who are still in school and yourself. So all the notebooks and pencils and all the things. And this is before, of course, school sent lists or anything. So your mom is just throwing in, all of the stuff that she's imagined over the years. And it has been the most boring hour of your life to date, you believe.
We're arguing her out of crayons.
Right. You don't need crayons anymore?
Don't need crayons, Mom. But colored pencils. Well, the 24 pack,
24 colored pencils? Are there 24 colors for pencils?
Yes. It's important.
Okay. But you finish that out, and then you go shopping at your favorite store in town, like the store that you actually like going with your mom to go to. What is it?
Oh, that's a good question. Let's see here. I think that it's actually like this old, like it used to be a department store, but it's sort of slowly specialized itself to this shop that has like a whole bunch of like restaurant grade gear down in the basement. And of course there's consumer stuff and things, but it has like all the half size pans and things like that. And then upstairs, it's got like this one big area of tchotchke, and then it's got a gardening center. It's called Woods. And it's this weird place, like it used to have like clothes and all that stuff, but they just specialize in these three things. And there are all these kind of, when you go there, there's the same people shopping there a lot of the times because they have like the best tchotchke in town.
Okay.
And this great garden center, and the restaurant and cookware section is really good. And you can get good deals if you don't mind a cookie sheet, a half sheet with a dent in it and stuff like that. So, but that you can go and buy like, big stacks of china, of, restaurant china and stuff like that.
Okay.
So we've gone there.
And you're walking around, you're looking at things, little dolls and little knickknacks and things that are around there.
Little bottles that are like this big with tiny corks, but some of them are fish and some of them are little grapes, grape clusters, and some of them are little turtles, and there's little elephants, and they're in all the colors. Yeah, I love those things.
And of course, your mom has not let you dress up in your sweatshirt to come out to do this.
It's adorable.
Yeah. And so you're doing that and looking around, and you're like focused on this. And you will hear this, and you will kind of startle and look, and you will see your mother, and she has just slapped a guy. And she goes, "Say that again." What do you do?
I have no idea what's happening. I think I'm like, and I sort of start to sidle through, towards my mom, but it's sort of sidestep, very careful. I don't know if I'm the next one to get slapped or what's going on, or if I need to punch this guy. So she's kind of like, this isn't something she has never seen.
And you see this 20-something guy, he's dressed in flannel. He's got some stains on his shirt. You might have actually seen him at the shop, once or twice. And he kind of starts maybe like he is going to say something, but his face is kind of got this red. He kind of looks at you again and then kind of backs off and kind of retreats. And your mom is just staying there fuming.
Mom?
Finish what you're buying. Let's go.
Can I have the blue glass elephant this time?
I'm sorry, what?
And she holds it up. It's like,
Yeah, that looks good. We should go.
Okay.
And she buys the stuff, and she doesn't say a word on the drive back, and you can tell that she is just furious.
Okay. Weird. Oh, and so to help her feel better about it, I'll tell her that there's a wasp nest in the impound car.
And there'll be that, I don't want you going in there and messing with that. You get Freddie, have him come down and do the spray on it. You know, the last time when you climbed up that pole and you put your hand in that yellow jacket's nest, that was 2 weeks worth of crying from you.
It really hurt.
That's why you don't put your hand in a yellow jacket's nest.
You know what the yellow jacket nest?
Well, you know that there's a nest of hornets in that car.
I'm gonna put my hand in it. It's what I told you. I mean, I could use that spray stuff. I'm good at it as Freddie is.
No.
Spray.
And that will distract her from her anger.
Yes, and I'll be muttering under my breath that I could do it too.
So let me ask you, JP, why is it that you haven't had a chance over the last week or couple of weeks to hang out with your group of friends? What has been going on?
Family camping trip.
Okay, where'd they go?
We went to the no, we went farther. We went like 2 or 3 hours up north. There's this place called Wild Bear Park. There's like some pretty badass cliff jumping there. It's probably like 10 feet, but in my mind, and the stories I tell people, it's like 80 feet, I imagine. Yeah. Canoeing, all that cool stuff, you know, marshmallow roasting.
Right. And it's the Midwest. So we got these nice creeks or cricks, as you want to say that, with the little rivers going through and mud everywhere. A fine grained Midwestern mud along the sides of it. And the campsites are set up. Let me ask you, is this something you look forward to each year?
Yeah, I think probably we go regularly every summer, and I think I have people at the campsite that I always see, and I have kids there that are actually like really friendly to me and are really nice to me, which is like in stark contrast to my relationship with the kids back where I live.
Oh yeah, it's cool. It's interesting, and it's maybe a disappointment when you do have to come home and gather yourself together. You will note when you get back that your mom seems like a little out of sorts as things are getting settled out.
Okay. I think I'll probably, I don't know, like kick a rock at like something that's metal and in the garage while I'm helping her unload the car, you know, and I just like it clinks off like a propane tank or something. Yeah, like kicking rocks at a propane tank. That's what I'm doing.
And she goes, don't do that. Don't do that. She says, so did you notice that your sister like didn't play or really talk with anyone that whole trip?
Yeah, and I think I'll say like no.
It's just a little worrying. Your dad and I are a little nervous. I think maybe, I don't know if she's acting up because she's not getting enough attention or what.
Yeah, and I think I'm confused, like maybe why she's telling me this, and I don't know what to say, and so I'm just like I kick another rock at the propane tank, and I'm like, and I want to help, but like my suggestion is something like, if you want, I can lend her my. What game would be popular right now? I'm not so up on my 80s.
Oh, let's see. people would have Ataris for console things.
Yeah, yeah.
Or Nintendos. I think the early Nintendos.
Okay, yeah. I'll be like, I already beat Mario, so if you want, I can lend it to her.
It's no. Well, that's nice. I'd like when. I just wanted to tell you, and I want to tell you this now that we're done with the trip. I think your dad and I are gonna take Joanna, and we're gonna go to the Family Learning Center, and maybe see about getting her to talk to a counselor, and maybe just doing some family therapy on that. I just wanted to tell you that because it might be something that comes up and she may not want to talk about it, and we might be doing that once a week. I just wanted to tell you.
Yeah, and so I think I don't say anything and I kick another rock at the propane tank, and I'm like scowling now because again my mother's not giving me the attention that I want, and I think at this point I will just like I picture her like I have like a plastic basket in my hand and her taking stuff out of the trunk and loading it up. And I think I'll like I don't know, just like purposely tip it and like let stuff fall out of it in a kind of fuss. And yeah, I think I will. I think I'll just run out the garage and just run away altogether, away from my mother. And I'm pretty angry.
And you can see your mom kind of look back. She's putting the stuff back in the basket, and you can tell the look on her face is, oh my gosh, she's really worried about his sister.
Also, interesting side note, I figured out that the Russian equivalent of John is Ivan. So
Okay.
my mom probably calls me Ivan, but I go by John, the anglicized name.
I like that.
Which is why I'm JP.
That is perfect. So I would like to then hard frame everybody back together if I could. And again at the clubhouse, if that's okay with you, Butch.
Well, that depends if Dad released me from house arrest.
Well, they have
gone again.
They head out the next day. Your dad doesn't say a word to you. You can tell that he cleaned up the mess because it's not the greatest job.
Well, cool. They're gone. I have another cool day, so I like get on the phone and call everyone to come back, and call JP. Hey, JP, you're back. Yeah, come on, drop by.
And so we will cut to the group gathered together again at the humid outdoor pool shed. And again, this property abuts onto some woods back behind the house. And it's late summer, so we're also probably getting the sounds of cicadas. So we're getting that sort of buzzing sound from the swarms that rises up and then goes back down. And so that's sort of the backdrop for everything out here, that sort of hot sound of cicadas and the humidity and all of that. So how do you want to inform JP about your discovery?
I mean, realistically, I think it's probably in a 3-part jumbled, confusing rush.
Okay. And you still have some of that orange liquid. And when they pull it out, it is a vibrant orange. Like, it's not like just kind of slightly, umber. It's orange.
But yeah, I think for Joshua's part, like, he's the borrowed chemistry set is still there, so he's like presenting all the scientific evidence of like, see, we ran pH tests and it turned purple, and see, you can look at it under the microscope and it's got all these weird parts. So that's sort of the area he's focusing on, because he doesn't want to talk about how embarrassing the actual catching of the frog was. Yeah,
and I think I've known JJ for a long time, so his like confusing jumble Like we probably like as an audience watching the movie, he just says a whole bunch of stuff, and like the audience is like, what does that even mean? And I'm like, got it, you know, like I know exactly what he's talking about.
Perfect.
Yeah, I think like Butch is a little bit of envy because he doesn't get any of this like science talk. So he looks at JP getting it, and like, I think I should work better on chemistry class next year.
And Lisa?
Well, I think like when she's come over and she's got like in her basket, she's got the ice and the sodas that she always brings with her. But the other thing is on the back of her bike, she's got strapped to it like metal crate, like, you know, the ones that are made out of like heavy duty wire for carrying really heavy bottles of pop and all that stuff. So they're really heavy. She's got like 2 of those and like a crowbar. She's brought, and also she's got like some of those shin guards, the catcher's shin guards. So she's still wearing her tennis shoes and like, you know, socks and shorts in that big old sweatshirt, but she's packed some shin guards too. So that's what she's got on the back of her bike, is that stuff. So
Okay.
she's got all that stuff. Like to her, she's got to gear up, and that's what she's brought.
Okay, so you got the big loaded up. So you're loaded for whatever operation you wish to carry out. How do you want to proceed? This is your clubhouse, essentially. So I suppose people probably do look to you, there, little Butch.
Okay. So I like maybe I like pull out the little trunk. And I have already found like a local map, so I like put the map on the top of the trunk, and I'm just like a team planner just standing over there. Okay, so I think we should track this thing. Everyone agrees?
Yeah.
Great.
I'm just giving him like a skeptical look, kind of.
Yeah, and I try to be like as cool as possible because now it's JP. Like watching, it's like time to show off. So yeah, I think we should like spread out into like 2 teams and maybe like search for the woods like over here, and there's like a road in the forest, and then over here, and see if we can like find it.
I wanna actually roll something to see if if what he's saying makes sense, and I wanna one up him if it doesn't.
Okay. So what do you think what would that be?
Maybe like a comprehend or investigate, if I understand what the skills are correctly.
Yeah.
Like what if his plan makes sense? Because I want to take this opportunity to be like, that's stupid. Like it's definitely from here or here.
Okay. So let's have you roll investigate.
All right, looks like I got a success.
And how does your Swiss Army knife help with this as an iconic item?
Oh, I excuse me. I think I don't understand how to roll correctly.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I see how that works.
Yeah. So what they've got is if you're going to roll with the iconic item, you actually do the pull down.
Oh, I see. Okay, so yeah, I thought that's just how you roll in general.
Right.
Okay, so
Otherwise, you just click the skill.
Okay, so let's do that instead. There you go.
Still 1 success. So the one thing that you will see as a gap here is that, I mean, this is similar to toad or frog. That's not something that you guys know a lot about. I mean, you know generally about them, but it might be good to find something or someone that knows about amphibians. You know, maybe you know, a science teacher or a conservation officer or something like that.
Yeah, and I think I say something along the lines of like, Butch, do you even know where amphibians will live?
Yeah, in the forest by the lake.
I mean, duh, but like more specific. Like, this is real science. We need to come up with a good plan, you know? I think we need to do some research. What do you guys think?
I've been saying research the whole time. That's exactly what I've been saying. We need to go to the library, we need to find some books, and we need to really study up on this. That's what I've been saying.
Yeah, because I think just running around like idiots isn't gonna help.
And I think I'm totally like on your side and not realizing
Yeah.
quite how much you're like piling on.
And I have a MacGyver shirt on, and it's like him like MacGyvering, but it's because it's this alternate reality. He's like MacGyvering like a maglev or something, and he's got like a paper clip in his mouth, and like I don't know, in his other hand he's got like, I don't know, a hose or something, but like a garden hose. Like clearly he's MacGyvering it. And I'd be like, this reminds me of episode 2, MacGyver. I don't know. I give some name like Shocking Truth, you know. And yeah, and like everybody rushes to react. But if you watch MacGyver, he's always thinking carefully, guys.
Yeah. So Butch realizing that he wasn't as cool with his plan as possible, he tries to like scrap whatever's left and says, "Yeah, that's cool. That's why we call it like teamwork. So yeah, you two go and do the research, and
that's
I'll
so
go.
annoying. Yeah.
And I'll go and talk to some people who might know something."
I'm trying to one-up him, and he's just agreeing with me, and it's totally undermining me. And I'm just so annoyed that he's agreeing with me.
I don't think you're as annoyed though as Lisa, who's been rolling her eyes at this whole.
I haven't even looked at you or even asked for your opinion. I imagine I'm like trying to push you out of this circle that's like, you know, around the map.
Go ahead and try.
Yeah, I'm like blocking your view. I'm like gesturing like in front of your face or something.
So what is your reaction to this, Lisa, then?
I think her reaction is more that she could tell what he's up to, and she's like, ugh. And I mean, it literally is. I have no doubt that at 13, she cannot keep herself from going, ugh. And when this all goes out, and so she'll be like, okay, so you guys are going to go to the library, is what I'm hearing?
I will go. Oh, Lisa, come on, it's so hot. Why are you in the sweatshirt?
Well, because we were going to go in the woods.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so they are going to go to the library, and I will go and ask, because I've seen someone investigating something on the lake. So maybe they are searching also for the frogs. So I will go and talk to Officer Karen Richards and see what she knows about the frogs.
Okay.
I think while he's looking at this, JP's just staring at your boobs.
Crosses her arms and she goes, I'll go with you, but
I'm sorry, what did you say?
I said, I'll go with you, Butch.
Okay, yeah. So sounds like we have a plan. Let's meet up here in like 2 hours. How much do you think you all need for this research?
No, 2 hours seems perfect. Like, I mean, how long could research take?
Yeah, cool. Let's jump on the bikes and let's go.
And then I think I'll like wanting to be the like, I'm gonna go to the pet store, guys. I hear they sell a lot of amphibians. I think that's a good plan.
And so you will split up and head in different directions here. The tensions and new lines drawn there. I think we're going to take our 5-minute break here, and when we come back, we will deal with the research and stuff.
Cool.
Okay. caffeine.
It's magical, and it's the only reason I'm here.
Yes. I don't understand how Gerwin can do those World Wrestling sessions, because it is like 3 o'clock in the morning for him for those. It's at the end of it. It's crazy.
No, Tyler plays with like ASPAC people from 4 to 7 and stuff like that. I'm just like, no, At 4 a.m. I can't think, and by the time the sun comes up, my body is dying.
Yeah.
There's something wonderfully ridiculous and absurdist and also just totally intuitive about playing the world from a middle schooler's point of view.
Yeah. It is a little bit of id is everything.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and that kind of weird boys kind of constantly pushing for dominance in a weird way among boys, or just kind of acceptance.
Mm-hmm.
I did put
my work colleague has 2 kids. One's a boy and one's a girl, and she told me that raising a boy it's so much easier because he will just go and be punched or punch someone else. But the girl, I think she's like 2nd or 3rd grade. She says it's so much more difficult because it's like a psychological warfare between the girls, and it's like, oh, it's so difficult. And I'm just like, what's the problem? Just like, it's not about dominance.
The frustrations as a female is that guys get to just work it out right then and there, whereas the social thing for girls is all incredibly fraught, and it is a constant Cold War. And of course, you aren't equipped for it. It's just, no one is. Some of those girls, literally, their mothers cook them through it. Because they want them to. It's just as a kid, it's like this. Yeah, it's crazy. Those girls who have their moms supporting them and giving them tactics on this stuff, they roll over everyone else.
So I want to come back, and I want to start. I think I want to start actually with the research side of things. I think I want to start with you, JJ. So what is it that you are? What is your process going to be, you think?
Well, it's a little circuitous because I know how much time I have, and really, like, I know where the biology and the amphibian section in the library is. I mean, how long could it take you just look through the book until you find giant flying frog? That's got to have like a whole chapter on its own at least.
Right.
So I think I've got some time to stop off at home, because Lisa really embarrassed me in that meeting there with how prepared and how ready for everything she was. She came with armor, and that's just crazy. But I can do that because I'm thinking to myself, oh, my dad just bought me soccer armor, so I can go get that, and I can get the soccer armor and unpack it from its new packaging. And like, I do want mine to be better than hers, so we have to make it into real armor. And from that time last summer when we turned the pool house into a castle, we do have like that silver spray paint. So I'm going to spray paint them so they're silver and they look like armor. And I think Tiny, from when she had fleas, we do have one of those cones. So I'm going to turn it around backwards and sort of cut out leg holes and spray paint it, because every good mount deserves barding. And once everything is truly ready, then I can head down to the library, flip through a couple of books, come back with all the answers. I have armor. I have a badass steed. Like, everybody loves me.
So what I'm hearing is I'm not actually going to be doing any investigation. I'm rolling Tinker.
No, I'm definitely going to make it to the library in time. Don't worry about that.
Let's have you roll Tinker.
And I definitely want to call Tiny as helping in this because you know
Okay.
she's pulling together the whole look with her armor.
That seems fair.
See that I can make this work. Do it. Do a thing. Oh, you are kidding me.
Welcome to the beautiful system that is Mutineer Zeros at the base. Do you want to spend another luck point?
Yes, obviously, this is the most important thing that could
Now,
be.
I do want to tell you, you don't always have to spend a luck point. You could mark a condition.
Ooh. Mark a condition, you say?
Yes, so you could take the ongoing penalty for a while.
I definitely think I'm getting angry at all of this because I see the clock ticking down and I had all of these like timetables laid out in my head and it's not working and Tiny keeps squirming and she won't stand still for her fittings and it's just everything is going wrong.
Okay, so you are upset.
All right.
Which means you get to re-roll this roll. And then until you clear your upset, you'll be at a -1 die.
Oh, so I shouldn't mark it yet until after I
Don't mark it
reroll?
yet, no.
Okay. Doop. Did it roll? Oh!
3 successes. So you get this armor put together like you invest in it, okay? So this armor is definitely going to absorb some harm. You've got a couple of choices about bonus effects on it. Do you want to have it be more durable, do something extra, or be more discreet?
It's definitely not discreet.
I'm about to say.
And durable implies that maybe I won't completely ruin them by the end of the adventure, and that would be sad. So
Yeah.
do more than expected.
Okay. Yeah, you've got this nice armor. You have burned your 2 hours. But tell me what when you said spray paint, but you didn't tell me what color you're spray painting this.
Well, it's like chrome, and I also think some blue in there because you need some like nightly colors for it to really pull off right.
Okay, so you get that chrome spray paint that has the kind of mirrored surface on it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it actually looks kind of badass by a 13-year-old standards.
But
I'm 12, so I'm tinkering above my age level.
Yes.
But he does have a dog cone like groin cover or something, if I understand correctly. I don't know.
It's mostly for Tiny, but there were some extra pieces I had to cut off that I'm using.
Right. That's for the dog's barding. It's mostly the dog cone. Okay, well I like that, and so you have prepared. So tell me, JP, how are you going about investigating? What is it that you want to do?
I mean, so yeah, I wanted to go down to the local like weirdo snake and frog, store, and I think I start by like walking around the store and like tapping the glass on every single like terrarium, aquarium, snake thing I can find, and just like doing the super annoying thing that kids do. All
right. Yeah, you can certainly do that, and you can get the attention of hey, don't tap on the glass. The person who's there behind the counter.
Yeah, and I think they do the typical kid thing where like after someone tells you not to do it, you have to do it like one more time just to like push your luck a little bit. So I'll be like, I'll just like 5 more quick taps, and then like turn around really quick, like look how fast I can turn. I want to get this guy's attention. And then I'll like saunter over to him and pretend to be like looking at other things and like, doing that thing that they do on the show, right? Where you're like, you don't want to give away what you're searching for. So I'll start with a question that's like unrelated, and I'll be like, how much is that snake over there?
And certainly they will answer the question, though they do mention any of the venomous snakes that require a
Oh,
state
it's too
license.
much. Too much.
Okay.
Yeah. Can't afford that one. It's kind of a high price, I think. And then I'll be like, so how much do you know about amphibians? Bullfrogs.
And they tell you we don't really deal in bullfrogs. They're not really a pet.
What if they were really big? Like, how big was this bullfrog? Like as big as a dog or something?
No, they said it was like a foot long. It wasn't a foot long, but they said it was a foot long.
Like, what about like a foot long one? That would be a pet.
That'd be a big bullfrog.
Do they normally get that big?
I don't think so. I've never seen a bullfrog that big.
I did once.
Okay.
If like, I was searching for more of those kinds of frogs. Like what kind of, where would it go? Like around here. And then maybe I even have the map on me or something and I like pull it out and I'm like, if I found one of these big frogs like here, where would it live?
Let me have you make a, let me see here how I want it. I think this is going to be, I think this is going to be a charm roll here, actually, to try and get him to kind of respond positively to.
All right, I got one die. Let's see how this goes.
Okay.
Nope. Do not.
So he's like, I don't know. I'm just work at the pet store. I got little books, things like that. You should talk to somebody who like works with bullfrogs, like a frog guy or something.
Yeah, and
like go to the nature center.
Yeah, and I think I'll say like I'll be like, okay man, thanks. And then I'll like as I'm closing the door behind me, like to leave the store, I'll be like, I'm never shopping here. Your prices are too high. And then I close the door behind me and like get on my bike to go to the nature center.
All right, that seems fair. This 19-year-old kind of watches you as you go. What the what? I don't understand that kid. And we'll cut from that to then Butch and Lisa. And you are going to go and track down Officer Karen?
Yeah. I think, yes.
And where do you think you would find Officer Karen on a Saturday morning?
The NPC description says police officer Karen Richards is investigating something on the lake, but she hasn't told anyone what it is. So I think I said that maybe like the skate park is just next to the not the harbor, but the port.
Okay.
The harbor.
Like there's some docks down there by the city
that's
edge.
next to the docks, and every now and then I like see her going to this like. It's up to you whether she takes like a police boat or she takes her own boat, but she's like in a police uniform. So I think we are actually going to the skate park, and I'm going to do some cool tricks. Maybe I want to like show Lisa some of the easier ones. And I hope that maybe around this time she will be accidentally going to her boat or coming with her boat. It's a bit of a chance, but other than that, I have no idea how to find police officers.
So since it's your NPC, since it's an NPC that you know, I think it makes sense dramatically for her to be down there. It's not that she's on the boats or anything, but she is talking to some people One of the things is because of the new cooling towers and things that have been put out in the lake. Some of the people who have boats here on the docks, and even some of the private homes that have little docks and stuff, are irritated because certain portions of the lake have been fenced off from like speed boating or swimming or anything like that. And Officer Karen is there talking with a couple of the owners in the docks. And she kind of comes up to the skate park. She probably knows, as you probably also knows who Lisa is. And she'll say, Diamante?
Officer, how are you doing today?
Fine, fine, fine. How are things going for you? Are you a skateboarder then?
Oh, and she sort of stops and goes, but she's going to show me some things. But I got a question for you. And she'll sort of Butch.
Yes, Officer Richards. I was wondering, because we heard the rumor that some people are interested in some rather large bullfrogs, and have said, some kids, that they have seen some really large bullfrogs around here, and we're wondering, because we've seen you going out in the lake, and I don't know, is there some large amounts of those animals? Are they dangerous? Are they a problem? Because it's like pausing weirdly, inviting her to say something, or at least acknowledge that maybe she knows something.
Bullfrogs?
Lisa's standing behind him, and she makes a thing like.
And she's kind of a small, shorter, compact woman. And she says, not exactly sure what you're talking about.
Oh, I feel, officer, that it must be that must be said cleanly. Like, we have seen it yesterday, like this size, wings. We tried to capture it. We were just thinking, like, can there be like more of such creatures? Are we in some real danger? Do you know where they are coming from?
She pauses, and she says, I don't know what you're talking about frog-wise. There have been gotten some calls to the stations about the frogs being louder than usual this year. Maybe it's just a good year for frogs.
I think Lisa steps and goes, this wasn't a normal frog.
I couldn't hear you there.
Oh, this wasn't a normal frog. Now, mind you, she says it quietly and probably down to her feet. Because she's sort of like embarrassed because it's an adult. And she's getting that feeling that like they might not listen to us. But, you know, she's doing that kind of, it wasn't a normal frog. And she sort of looks back up at the officer and she goes, it was this big. It flew away. And it left some weird orange gunk behind it that was like poison.
I think this gives us the fiction, I think, to move to a charm roll, maybe.
Oh.
From one of you.
Okay. Yes,
yeah, I can definitely.
The other person can assist, giving an extra die. Then
I will do that.
Okay, so I will roll charm and see how it goes.
Okay.
But
that's pretty good.
Yeah. Cool.
So you get what is it that you want from the effects? What do you want here?
So I think since she said that some people are complaining, I want to ask, like, where exactly, like, which district, which part of the forest, like, to get more or less like location, or are these things like spread out, like everyone around town is reporting this, or maybe like a location, or maybe like only one district of the city is like reporting problems.
I'm gonna kind of put a little circle around the area, and she says, most of the calls we've been getting are up from the northeast side of the lake. That's mostly the marshes, and there's some homes and stuff in there, but it's a lot of messy area. The rich people that have homes are kind of closer to town, but you know, the rest of it's kind of some muck that they haven't reclaimed.
Interesting. If we happen to capture one of those dangerous frogs, would you be interested? Should we like bring it back to you?
And this will be the second success. What I think, she kind of stops and she said, and like something clearly clicks for her, and she says, "No, don't go messing with those frogs. Don't have anything to do with them. Just stay away from those for the time being."
Of course, stay away from the north part of the lake. Yes, of course. That's
and she says it in a way where you can see her stop, and like she's thinking, like she's putting two and two together about something. And she says, "Okay, I will talk to you two later."
Thank you, officer.
And she heads off to her squad car.
Yeah, and I suppose me and Lisa are just like around the map. Yeah, now we have like a rounded down location. Cool, we can go and search over there.
Oh, hey, that's on that stretch of 733 where there's been having a lot of accidents lately with maglevs.
That's really interesting.
Well, maybe it has something to do with those frogs.
Quite possibly. Is there like one particular like a black point that your brother or your dad can know where most of the accidents happen? Because I will tell you that those marshes that she marked on our map, this will take us like a days to search through them.
Let's go see. Let's see where they're happening.
So I think that you are then, when you get back to your parents' auto yard and you're kind of looking at the pins where toes have been done and things like that. Is that what you're looking for? Let's have you roll investigate.
Hey. Let's see here.
So I think that this time I can actually help to look for some marks that Lisa tells me what to look for.
Sure. To give an extra die.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you have to roll this die manually if you want to.
Yeah.
I got my skill artificially for the time.
Oh, okay.
So you've got one success. You get to ask two questions from the investigate list.
Let's see here. I guess the first one is does there seem to be a place that's a little bit more where the accidents are more concentrated?
Okay.
Stretch. Like, what is that spot?
So I will narrow that down for you. How about?
Okay.
And we'll do it with a color that's a little more visible than light blue on light blue.
Ooh, the big deep marshy area.
Yep.
And then this is the other thing is what's the hallmark of those crashes?
Okay, now I'm going to make you look at the investigate list and actually go to one of the investigate questions. I know you hate it.
No, I hate being in the middle of a thing when I'm thinking like a crazy person. Okay, so let me find this document. Is it on D+?
There's not, I gave you a handout with it. It's probably on top of your computer.
Oh gosh, yeah, I actually have physical copies because I'm spoiled, and yet I'm not making use of them. I apologize. Here they are. Okay. So, there's a lot of handouts. I blame you. So what are the questions?
It's in the second column of the skill sheet, the middle of this second column. Investigate.
Here it is. All right, then. The other question that I want is, what has happened here?
It does seem to you like there must be that must be like a key zone. It is right next to Zabo Labs, which is a tech place, and it does make sense that it is that area, because I'm imagining that Butch probably lives in. Let me see if I can get the marker here. Sort of an area close to town, but still along. So if the frogs / bullfrogs are traveling along the shoreline, it makes sense that they would have come up to the woods there behind his house.
Okay.
But so you suspect that it must be the marsh in there. Does that seem like fair info, or do you want to modify your question a little?
I guess what I was asking is, if the frogs are causing this, how or what are they doing? Like, are they actually impacting with the vehicles, or does it seem to be that the vehicles have been swerving to avoid something on the road? Or
have you ever seen a cane toad from Australia?
In a documentary.
Okay, so cane toads are huge, and they are en masse in Australia, and they're very easy to run over and stuff. And they cause lots of traffic problems. So I want you to imagine that, but they can fly. So it may well be that what you're having is bullfrogs, since these things happen like in the early morning. Maybe as these bullfrogs are getting up, they may be attracted to the lights and like are splatting against windshields. Or things like that, which, given what you know about, they've got metal parts and things in them, that might be, injuring the drivers or just driving the cars off the road.
Well, and some of them are the automated vehicles, so they might be hitting the sensor stuff too.
Absolutely.
All right. That is my hypothesis.
Okay. So I want to come back to JP. And then I want to pull people back together. Is that cool? Okay.
Perfect.
JP, the Nature Center is like not that far out. It's on the outskirts of town. There's a little park. It is the park that they take all the school kids to explore the wonders of nature. And there's a little nature center there. It's all done in sort of brown wood log cabin style. For the design there. And when you roll up, there are probably some people there. It's a Saturday, so it's mostly people who are here to go down to the little beach park that's by it. But there is a person working behind the counter at the Nature Center. Hello, she says, super cheery.
Yeah, and I think, as usual, like, his idea of cool is just to like pretend he doesn't notice people for a little bit, and so he'll just like, I don't know, like there'll probably be like some like diorama of like a snake on a log or something, and he's just like looking over at it, and then like it's obvious that he's hurt her, but he's just like kind of like, and then he'll turn to her and he'll be like, "Hey, what's up?"
Well, the sun's up, and it's another bright day here at the Nature Center.
Yeah, and I think he thinks it's funny, but he knows it's not funny, so he's like he's trying really hard not to make a smile, and being like lame. And then
what you looking for, little scout?
And I think like that's when he'll like maybe like adjust his like shirt and like try to like show that he's got the sweet Swiss Army knife hanging from the corner of it or whatever, being like, whatever, I'm not a scout like you, obviously. And then and he's like, I'm here on an important business.
Important business. What kind of business?
And I think he'll stop for a second, look at her, and be like, "Why are you talking like that?"
What do you mean?
Never mind. Anyways, yeah, I need to do some research on some bullfrogs. It's really important.
We've got a couple of frog displays over here.
Yeah, but I need to talk to someone. This is a woman, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it'd be like, yeah, is there any men around? I need to talk to a man who knows about bullfrogs.
And she'll go, I'm a trained nature officer. I spent 4 years at a conservation college. This is my job now. So if you have a question about bullfrogs, I'd be more than happy to answer it for you.
Yeah, so I think, yeah, he's gonna be like, so there's no men around then, huh? All right, well, I guess I'll ask you then. And then I'll like bust out this map, right? And I'll be like, we found this big giant frog. We found it right around here, and we're all like wondering where this thing could be living, you know?
And she says, what did the frog look like precisely?
And I'll be like, you know, like they exaggerated it, and I'm even gonna exaggerate it because I want my story to be even more cool. So I'm like, it's like this big, and then like his gross bumps on it. Like they probably even tell me the details, but I'm just like manufacturing them, like confabulating them. And
she walks you over to this big board in the amphibian section, which has Amphibians of Ohio on it. And she says, could you point to the picture of the frog that you're talking about? You're muted.
I said, I haven't actually seen this thing, right? So this is the funny thing. So I think I'll point to whichever one is the biggest, and just be like, it's kind of like that, but bigger.
Well, that's a pretty large size. How big are we talking? Standard bullfrogs get to about 8 inches in length at the longest. What are you talking?
That one would have been like a baby of this one that I saw. This one was huge. And I'll be sure again, like, I'm serious. It was like this big. Anyways, where would, like, you know, it's this thing, and then I'll, like, pretend to, like, know all about biology and science, and I'll be like, you know, it has a habitat. Like, I'll use a word that I've, like, heard somewhere. Like, I'll be like, what would its habitat be? If it was that big, what would it have to eat, you know? And where could it survive?
And she says, if it's that large, it's probably not going to operate like a standard frog. To get the energy it needs, it's going to have to eat larger things than just bugs and insects. So in that case, we might be looking at something that's a little more omnivorous, perhaps even a carnivore. There are larger frogs that prey on mice and things like that, and other frogs. So that's a possibility. If it is as large as you say.
Yeah, no, yeah. I thought she was going to say something more. I just learned to say. And then I'll be like, cool. All right. I guess that's it. But you still haven't said anything about the map. I got this map here. Like, can you at least like point? I need a location. My friends are going to be pissed if I don't give them a location.
Bullfrogs are found all along the lake.
Are you sure there's no guys around here?
She says, well, here's the thing is, is this like a school thing at all?
Yeah, it's a school thing.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, it's not a man, but the other person you might want to talk to is Mary, the librarian at your school, because she has a background in biology as well.
Lady, I wouldn't be cut dead in the library. What, you want me to get beat up or something?
It's leaning that way right now.
And then I think when she says that, I just like, I don't know. I think I'll just like, just like kick the wall and then run away.
Yeah, this angry 20-something, trained to be like a park ranger woman, glowers at you as you run out the door. Hit the bell, ding, 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 as you run out. Jump on your bike, peel out.
Yeah, I think as I'm like running out the door, I'll like yell back like, "This place is laying," and that's it. No, I'll just run away.
So let's cut back to the group coming back together, if that seems fair. But I need to ask JJ, what do you suppose the group's first impressions are of your new equipment?
Well, I mean, it's definitely me coming over like a hill in the neighborhood road, and then just the sun gleaming off of this, like, these mirror chrome pieces that are taped and tied all over his outfit.
And you will see that you can all arrive together, and you can confer, pass information. I assume that the basic info is shared even before we begin the zooming on conversation. Yes, sure, you had a question?
Before we get too far, I will help JJ get his shin guards on properly because he's got them on upside down.
Oh, they do. That does fit better. Huh, look at that. I thought they were the wrong size.
Josh, are you now dressing like this paladin from this Dungeons and Dragons game you were telling me the other day?
Well, I mean, it's definitely a modernized version of that. I didn't have any steel to hammer out, and our forge is out for the summer. But this is definitely I could be a paladin.
Oh yeah, sure, paladin on a mighty steed hunting.
Yeah, see, I've got a trusty mount here, and I think.
What the hell are you guys talking about?
Talking about my armor. I'm going in prepared. What are you wearing? A t-shirt? It's going to eat right through that. It has acid breath, probably.
Yeah, I'll be like, MacGyver doesn't wear armor.
Well,
that guy gets through everything. You ever seen that show? I didn't hear you actually.
I know. It was at JJ, though. She's saying to JJ, he's not MacGyver.
Don't bring that up. Just sore subject. Of course, we watched MacGyver so many times together. I know MacGyver, but he's a professional. We're just, you have to start somewhere, I guess. We're apprentices.
Okay, team. Let's gather up. Let's talk the information. We have this map and this like narrowed location. So everyone ready to drive there on their bike?
I think I want to, like, when you're telling the information you found, Pavel, I think I'm waiting to till when you say like where you found it, like what's the actual correct location. And then just as you're saying it, I'm like, that thing where you try to say the same thing that someone else is going to say, but you don't know actually what they're saying. So they're like, you're like watching their mouth and you're like, yeah, that place, right? And I'm going to be watching you say the location that you whatever. And then I'm going to mirror it with my mouth, but like poorly. And then be like, yeah, exactly what I found,
oh yeah, cool. Now we have the confirmation from two sources. That's
Yeah,
excellent.
that's crazy. That's what I found too. That's like perfect bullfrog territory.
Oh, yes, that's a confirmation from free sources.
And I'll be like, what did you find, Lisa?
Oh.
And she rolls her eyes at you and walks past you to her bike.
That's what I thought.
She was with me. We were in her workshop and inspecting cars. It was very weird. This box seems to be really big, hitting the cars and everything. So, yeah, I might actually take my main playing bot, but maybe like the secondary bot that if it's big, we might need to hit it a couple times. So I'm gonna
you get your backup bat. Okay.
Yeah, and because I don't want to look totally unequipped for this journey, I might, I don't know, take some small. Maybe we have like a umbrella holder, like a long tube. I'll put the bot inside and then somehow strap it to my back so that I look like I'm prepared as well, because we have knight in the armor. So I'll be I think. Josh, what was the other guy? Warrior? Fighter?
Yeah. Fighter. You can beat the fighter class.
Yeah. So I'll be the fighter. Just like attaching the umbrella holder too. But yeah, that was good.
And I think JP is like, he's like trying to look unimpressed. He takes like the plastic toothpick out of his Swiss Army knife and he like picks his teeth with it, and then he like gets some gunk out from under his nail. And like unbeknownst to everybody else, his backpack is filled with like totally useless things that MacGyver can make use of, but like he would have no use for, like, I don't know, tin foil and like maybe some dental floss and like this random piece, like a sprocket or something, you know, like just useless things.
Yeah. So yeah, let's take some sandwiches. Parents left me some sandwiches, and let's go. To hunt the frogs.
And the four of you can get on your bikes, get yourself loaded up, got your stuff, armor, and a bag of miscellaneous gear, and a backpack bat quiver, and the extra cages. And the four of you will go rolling out along the lakeside here. And it will take a bit, you know. You kind of go along the trail road that's by there, go past the nature center, and you get into the area that is northwest from the house.
I just want to add a detail. When we pass the nature center, I give the nature center the finger.
Probably a small gasp from some kids as you do that. You will roll along until you hit kind of the edge of where the woods begin to kind of go up to the highway, where you kind of have to stop, and you know that the woods then kind of get into some marshy area there, and you have to get down off your bikes and either park them or walk them with you here through the woods. Lisa, do you park it, or do you use your bike as a transport here? You muted.
Because we could put our bikes over at Sable Labs on the edge of their parking lot. That way we'll know where they are and we won't lose them in the trees. Okay.
And that does make sense. It is an area that is a little bit more marked, so you can do that. You will head into these woods. This is probably a place you've played in from time to time. It's close enough that you can do that. It's probably a place your parents also tell you don't go play in it. So there's a little bit of having run off to do it, which I assume is certainly in JP's wheelhouse. And certainly in Lisa's wheelhouse, since she has, a bunch of brothers, and so on. How much have you been in these woods, JJ? Is this a thing for you at all?
I mean, a decent bit. I get, dragged out in the woods with the other guys fairly often, and also, like, it's way more realistic to play sort of fantasy or adventure games like out in the woods than in your neighborhood, because that's just boring and asphalty. But yeah, like he does start to pants a little bit as he's going, and I think Tiny finally like whines and tears at the cone enough that he like pulls it off while we're traveling. We'll put it on when we get back into a battle situation.
And what about you, Butch? Is this place you've gone to that often, or is this a little bit? I mean, it's the woods from this reach into the woods behind your house. Is this a place you'd usually go?
It depends if there's some interesting terrain to ride my BMX and maybe like jump off, or maybe some guys did like a little bit of like a track around it.
Oh, yeah.
So I think I'm actually will.
Is it so wet and swampy here? You probably got a different area that you've got set up as your little racetracky spot.
No problem. So in this case, I might have been here, but probably not so often. If there was no baseball playing here and no bikes and no cycling, so probably not.
Yeah, I mean, it's not good for your bikes. You're disappointed by that.
Yeah, I really wanted to like show off on the BMX, but I looked and it will get like.
You'd go straight in.
Yeah.
JP, were you going to say something?
No, but I could. I think probably I've dragged JJ around here. I think what I do is I love catching frogs, and so I just bring a bucket and fill it up with frogs. And then I catch a snake and I just toss it in with the frogs, and I think it's really funny when that happens. And then when the bucket's full, I think I throw the frogs into the lake.
Okay, so that's your usual pattern here.
Yeah. This is like a well-tracked part of forest for me.
And besides bullfrogs, there's American toad would be the common thing here. There are cricket frogs, little tree frogs, spring peepers. There are a whole bunch of different kinds of smaller frogs and things that would usually be around here that you're not seeing so much as you go. Like, you kind of have your usual eye to spot those kinds of things, and you're not seeing so much of that as you're moving through the woods.
Yeah, and I think the reason I know that is because I'm trying to catch one to impress people so I can throw it and be like, see how cool I am. I just threw a frog. And I keep looking down to find one, and I'm usually so good at it, and I'm kind of getting frustrated that I can't.
Lisa, you are moving along, heading through here. Everyone's kind of looking around, and we've still got the sound of the cicadas that sort of buzzing in the background, and you will start hearing a sound that at first you think is like a frog, like a toad, or whatever the sound is. I'm not going to do a full frog toad vocal ensemble here, but as you kind of pause and listen, you're hearing left, move, left, move, drag, left, move, left, build, like, and it's like a bunch of little sounds like that. They're sort of deeper into the marsh, and it's like a call and response.
What?
Yes.
She sort of stops and she goes, wait, can you guys hear that?
I'm gonna have to have you repeat yourself.
She stops and she goes, wait, can you hear that?
I can't quite hear you, Lisa.
He gestures for everyone to be quiet. She goes, can you hear that? Saying lift, move, left.
Sherry, I'm gonna have you drop and come back because you're getting really weird roboting on you. If we could just do that real quick. I'm sorry.
No problem. I'll be back in a second.
Now that she's gone, I want to say what I'm trying to sneak up behind her and put a salamander on top of her head without her noticing.
Okay, well let's resolve her thing first, and then we can see if she's down for that. She's had some weird audio issues the last couple of times, so hopefully.
How's that? Is this better?
Yeah, it's a little bit better.
Okay. So all she was trying to do was to get quiet and listen. And she was saying, can you hear that? Left, move, lift, maybe the frog.
Yeah, I think I hear something. We should definitely go in this direction.
Talking frogs.
So let me ask you this, JP. Is this something you want to roll for, or do you want to consult with Lisa's player about that moment?
I mean, like, I'm okay with it either way. I'm okay with rolling for it. I'm okay with her, like, catching me in the act.
Okay.
You're away, Lisa. I said I was trying to sneak up on you and put a salamander I found on top of your head.
Okay.
You have 6 brothers, right?
Yes.
So you recognize this motion.
Yes, when this thing happens. And so essentially I reach my hand up, I pick it up, and I sock him with the other arm. Like, I mean, it just goes back like bam and hits him right in the, like, I assume like the meat of his arm as he's doing that thing. Like, yes.
Yeah, and I think it actually hurts, and you could tell it hurts him. And then I'll be like, what a wuss.
You are there.
And when you kind of talk and the voices carry, you'll hear the frog sounds go and like stop.
Guys, shh. We're scaring the frogs.
You're scaring me.
I'm not scared. No, we're gonna. Come on, I'm gonna take Tiny. Tiny can sniff him out. Sniff him. Come on, Tiny.
Tiny does not want to go anywhere further now.
Put on the armor, Josh.
Oh, I totally forgot. Yeah, she's scared because she doesn't have her armor. So I'm gonna strap the armor back on her. See, come on. Now you're safe.
The dog is down. Like, no, nope.
Okay, well, will you stay here and guard stuff, Tiny? So stay.
I think I'll be like, I think I'll turn to JJ at this point. I'm like, JJ, go check it out. You got the armor on. Don't get chicken.
I'm not scared. It's fine. I'm doing it. I'm just getting Tiny down. Tiny's scared. I'm not. And I'm going to go like.
And I'll toss a pebble. I'll throw her a rocket at you, and I'll be like, chicken.
Stop it. Go sneaking forward, and like I look back 5 or 6 times. Like, you really want me to do this? No, I'm doing it alone. I'm just making sure that you guys don't want to. Okay, you don't. All right.
Let's have you roll sneak.
All right. I don't think I have anything item-wise that particularly helps here, but let's see how this goes. Oh, I am going to spend my pride on this one because someone is throwing rocks at my pride.
Okay.
And
So that
I'm not
gives you
scared of anything.
If you invoke your pride once per session, you can get an automatic success. So
Do that.
you invoke that and you go forward. Lisa's kind of backing you up because she was the one who sort of first heard it, kind of closest up. And you will move up and kind of break through some of these reeds. And you will come up and you will see this structure. And maybe it's about 3 or 4 feet tall, kind of out of the sort of the wet grass and marshy bits here. And it's like a ziggurat, like a very, very small ziggurat, like of mud and sticks and reeds and bits and things like that. like somebody spent a lot of time constructing this. It's not completely finished, and you don't see any bullfrogs. But what you see is like 40 or 50 little toads, like about this big. And some of them have like things in their mouths, like they're carrying sticks and things. And some of them are still holding still, like they had heard the voices, but some of them are moving now, and you see them go up and they carry a bit of mud up and they drop it, or a rock, and they drop it, and then they kind of move and push it into place, or they actually go in. It looks like there must be an interior, like they're actually, putting little stick support beams on the inside.
Oh. And I think you just see like JJ turns back to wherever the rest of y'all are, and just does like a frantic arm thing, and then the foliage sort of swings to block him as he goes forward into it.
I don't think I'm there. I think I'm trying to sneak up on you and scare you.
I think maybe you get hit by this swinging branch as I let go and go wandering into this pond.
Well, let me check in and see what are you doing, Butch?
Yeah, I think I was waiting for some kind of sign from JJ, and I'm trying to get there. Not sure if I'm sneaking. I suppose I'm trying to sneak to see what he's seeing.
Okay.
And like, Lisa, are we going?
So you two move up. You realize that you don't see JP. You know that only spells trouble. As you move up, JP, let me have you roll sneak.
You got it. Boom. Sneaky.
So you will. You've got one success there, so that's enough. You will move around to come and surprise JJ, but you actually stop because you've kind of circled out a little ways, and you stop because in front of you, sort of on some rocks there, watching at a distance, watching whatever this enclosure is, you will see these two enormous bullfrogs. The size that they described, well, maybe a little smaller than they described because they made them sound huge, but still pretty big. What do you want to do?
I think this is where I will. I think my plan of scaring them kind of goes to the wayside. And let's see here. I think I'll go into my backpack and rummage through it and see if I can find anything that would help me tie up a bullfrog or like net one or something.
Okay.
And I'm just trying to think of something that could work but isn't actually very useful.
The cooking foliage, I'm not sure.
Like aluminum foil? Yeah.
Oh yeah, the tin foil. Yeah. Maybe I'll take out the tin foil, and I'm gonna try to like tin foil one of these things. And I imagine it being like the thick tin foil that you use, like, you know, the one that like my mother is like very frugal, so she gets the super long, high quality tin foil that you can like wash and reuse, you know.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I think I'm gonna like slowly pull it out of this thing, and I just want to jump out and tinfoil one of these frogs.
All right, so that sounds like force.
All right, let's do it. Boom.
Boom.
Yeah,
all right, so you leap up and you're going to tinfoil one of the two frogs, and you will get it wrapped up. The other one spins. we'll come back to you in just 1 second. So you've kind of pushed forward there, JJ. The others have come up, and
So
yes.
My sort of plan there, and we'll see how they react. But you'd said a couple of these frogs had gotten sort of frightened and like dropped what they were carrying.
Yeah.
So I think one was carrying a stick, and I like slowly lean down and pick up the stick, and then I like slowly hold it up to his mouth to see if he'll go back to doing what he was doing.
And they've kind of stopped because you're a person, but you're moving slowly, so they're kind of like clearly not reacting. But the thing is, you do see this mass of like 40, 50 frogs that all their eyes are following you as you do this.
I'm not looking at them. They're not making me nervous or anything.
Lisa and Butch, you will kind of come through the thing, and you can see this. You can see JJ putting this little stick in this frog's mouth, and all of these little frogs are watching. All of these.
Here you go, little buddy. You want the stick, right? Here you go.
And then you'll hear zing, ah, from the distance, and you hear all the frogs, all these toads go, danger, 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 and they start bloop, 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 bloop. They're dropping into the water puddles here, and they are scattering in all directions.
Hey, Lisa, I don't think frogs usually do behave like this.
Okay, we'll cut on that line. So you've got a hold of this giant bullfrog wrapped in aluminum foil there, JP. And the other frog spins around, and it will sprout wings. They like emerge from its back. And I need you to make a move roll.
There it is, one success. I can't lose.
Perfect. So you will drop back as this other toad gets up, flies up, even as you're holding this one, and it's that thing is buzzing, and it spits something at you. And
the other toad is like a block.
If you'd gotten another success, I would have certainly allowed you to do that.
Okay, fair. That's fair.
Yeah. But yeah, so you have one toad fighting you in your hands,
and I want to like try to keep wrapping it just for the scene's sake.
Okay, yeah, you can. That's a sort of the fiction of you keeping a hold of it. The other one is spitting at you. What do you want to do?
Get the hell out of there. I want to wrap this thing up, and I don't know if this matters, but like, if you wrap something in tin foil, it's effectively becomes like a Faraday cage. So like, if there's like a wireless signal or something, then it can't get through.
No, I think that's absolutely fair. Yeah.
Yeah. And I just want to get away, and I just want to like, I think I'm terrified. So I think I'm just like screaming like at a high pitch that I'm gonna later deny. I'm gonna be like, "Rah! Rah!" And I'm just running back towards the bikes or something like that.
Let's have you roll move.
Yeah, sure. Ah, no successes. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I think that, like I imagine that like this is like thick mud, and you hear that like those like slurping kind of sounds as like my shoes get like pulled out off of my feet and you know get stuck in the mud, and then maybe I step on like a sharp what is it called, blade of what are they called, like a broken cat o' nine tails. Right.
You are running, you're kind of losing your shoes, and then you will feel this burning across your back, and I'm going to have you mark a condition. And there's like a sizzle and pop.
Yeah.
You still got a hold of this thing, but this other frog is doing this circling spit bombing on you. Let's cut back to the others. What do you want to do, JJ? These frogs are kind of going to run. They've left this giant ziggurat formations, but then you've heard this shriek, this high pitched shriek off in the distance, and that same buzzing that you will recognize as the sound of one of those bullfrogs.
Oh man, you guys wouldn't believe it. They're making this like temple thing here. Wait, what was that? Is that JP?
And I'm just yelling, run!
What do you want to do? Let's get you three, get your actions. What do you think, Patrick?
I think I am very heroically slowly sneaking forward to see what's going on over there.
Okay,
I don't have my dog or my pride point, so I'm feeling a little worried at this point.
So if you move into position, I'll say you can get into position. You can see that JP has kind of started running, falling. He's got this aluminum wrap thing. You can see that he only has one shoe on, and that he's got this yellow goo on his back. So you'll be able to kind of get yourself in a position. Lisa, what are you doing?
I think that when I hear him screaming, I just run towards him. I don't even really think about it very hard. It's like my brothers when they're screaming and they hurt themselves, you run over to protect them. I mean, that's just what you do. And so I think she goes running over there. She's got her crowbar, got her shin guards. It's not like the best setup ever. And she's lugging one of those wire baskets, and she's running over there to see if she can hit whatever it is.
You want to try and crowbar this flying bullfrog?
Yes, I do, though I am not particularly well set up for that. What is that skill?
That is force.
Oh, well, we'll see. Okay. Could get lucky. I got a success.
So just tell me what it looks like as you bat this bullfrog out of the air.
This is so perfect too, I must say, that like you're saving JP. You know, he's gonna deny the shit out of this later.
Okay, I don't even think she has any sense that it's JP, if that makes any sense. She's literally reacting to someone screaming.
So
and
what does it look like?
That she's running towards him, and I think she throws her basket on the ground because it's in the way, and she has her crowbar up, and she brings it up, and she just hits it glancingly as she's running past, because the big thing is that her hand is out to slow him down, because he's got that yellow stuff on his thing, that she knows she has to get that shirt off of him so it'll stop burning him. So she's actually sort of like running and trying to grab his arm at the same time to slow him down.
Okay, so you're getting him protected, and essentially your intent is less to do damage and more to kind of send that thing flying back so that it can't follow up. In that case, what are you doing, Butch?
Well, Butch was just getting his warrior signature weapon, but she already sees Lisa like running forward, and he runs for a little bit after her, but then he sees that JP is running, and this thing is like, you said that the other frog is like flying around him, yes?
Yeah, so JP has the one frog wrapped up in his hands, and he's kind of fallen. Mm-hmm. He's got the burn on his back. Lisa has run up, and the one that's flying around him that was hitting him, she's knocked that away. Yeah. It's still in the air, but it's not immediately on the two of them.
Yeah, I was just like curious to like step like midway, just like because I see that Lisa somehow get it to like back off, and I'm just like thinking, because they said something, it's a robot. The little ones like run away. I'm thinking, what is the relation between the bullfrog and the small ones? If it's a robot, what does it do?
What are you trying to figure it out?
I'm looking at calculate, ability to know how technical objects work and how to use them. It could be robots, machines. If you succeed, you can ask 2 questions.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm down with that. Let's see that roll.
Something nobody would ever expect of me, but I'm really curious.
I like that.
And can I help him out with that?
Actually, I think you're kind of shouting info, so you can get another die too, Butch.
Sure.
So just /roll. Look at that, 2 successes. So you get 3 questions off that list.
At least it's very short. So I will
It actually goes up on the top of the next page.
Oh
Or
wow!
the next column, yeah.
Oh wow! I didn't see it. I definitely like as me and Josh are like standing there and just like talking out loud. What is do it? Why is there? What can do? I will hand you like 1 or 2 questions because I wanted to ask what is its purpose.
So, which one, the bullfrogs or the toad?
I was really focusing on the bullfrog.
Okay, the
Is it
bullfrog.
like a protector of the nest, or is it just like, I don't know, an aggressor?
So I'll answer that question. It definitely looked to you based on what you've seen and where they were and the other things, like they were hostile to the little toads. Like they were waiting and watching to maybe attack or something. And it definitely seems like they are I mean, they're clearly same tech in some ways. They're clearly weird tech going on, but they're clearly like one is in opposition to the other. What's your next question?
Josh, do you want to ask your question? We're free from the list, so ask one.
Sure. So I think at this point I've grabbed up that wire basket that Lisa had dropped, and I'm sort of like on the other side of the toad from Butch, so that we get more time to sort of study it and look at it here.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna go with what problems could it cause? You know, seeing it again and that stuff that's all over JP and our chemistry study the other day. Like, what do I think this stuff might do?
Well, here's what makes it super dangerous. You're seeing that that JP has smartly wrapped it up to block any kind of signal, and it's still moving. These things are autonomous. It's an autonomous, weaponized bullfrog that clearly has some programming errors. So, and it's got weapon. I mean, if there are more of these things, if there are a lot more of these things, these are super dangerous. Because and like that cage, it probably couldn't immediately get out of the cage by spitting acid, but over time it could.
Man.
And I'm just like wrapping it, like I keep going layers and layers of tinfoil, you know?
Does that seem like a good answer for you, Patrick?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Pavel, let's come back to you.
Yeah, I don't think other questions apply to what we have seen so far over here. Definitely cannot ask who made it. Because
I'll tell you one other question. One other thing, a detail I think you can pick up here from having seen the little toads and stuff is you see these bullfrogs and they're clearly got a bunch of stuff in them, like robotics and things. When you saw the little American toads, the ones that are building the thing, it didn't look robotic to you, but it did look to you like maybe they had some kind of like a flash of silver on the back, like they had some kind of microchip in them, like someone had embedded some kind of microchip there. So they're similar technology but different approaches.
Yeah. So having know that and having seen that Lisa so far managed to scare the other frog, I think I will run up to them and maybe like hold the basket to
I'll come back. I'm gonna give you do your study action. So I want to switch back because you and JJ are kind of yelling about what are you seeing here. I want to come to JP. JP, your back is burning. You feel somebody trying to tug your shirt off. That you're trying to keep wrapping this thing. You are soaked in mud. You've lost a shoe, and there's still the other one circling, but it got knocked back away. So what do you do, JP?
I think JP is like he's still kind of frantic. I think he's like he realizes he's in a kind of moment of safety, but he's like breathing hard, like we're being attacked. They're attacking us. And then like I think I'm letting whoever take, I don't even know who's doing it. Like I'm letting whoever's trying to take my shirt off because I like feel the burn in my back now. Like help me with that. But I'm also like at the same time trying to roll this thing up. So it's like super awkward, you know, like, and then I'm like, I'm trying to remember everything MacGyver would do. So I'm trying to think like, where's my backpack? You know, like with all my stuff, I'm like, somebody get my backpack. You know, and I'm like, I remember all my weird useless items that I have in there, and I think that's really it. I think right now he's kind of freaking out, so he's not contributing in any. Go ahead.
Well, I think one of the things you're saying is that you are kind of finishing getting this thing set. So I'm going to say that if you want to make a force roll, you can immobilize this frog, this toad that you've got wrapped. Does that seem like a fair thing?
Yeah, I think that's probably because it's squirming and trying to get out. So I like imagine I'm rolling it, and then like I might even like thump it, like because I'm freaking out. I'm just like and rolling and hitting against something, you know.
Sure. Let's have you roll force.
Sure.
Even with the condition, that is a success. So you get it. What is the thing that you pull out of your backpack that allows you to kind of get it like so wrapped up and secured that it can't move?
I think what I do is I like wrap it up in like 200 feet of tinfoil, and then I like I think the thing that keeps it secure and wrapped up is the backpack.
Okay.
I think I just like empty the stuff and I just stuff it in the bag. And I like, yeah, and I think it's like a nice camping backpack that maybe I got as a gift, like some like actually good one, like made from some strong material, and I just zip it up, and then I like my eyes are like shooting out of my head, and I'm looking at everyone like, I got it, yes.
Lisa, what do you do? We've still got another we got another bullfrog in the air.
I got to get that shirt off of him, so I
got that. Yeah. No problem.
Okay, that was no problem. I thought I'd have to take my Swiss Army knife to do that, but okay. So that's cool. So I think that once that's taken care of, she's still got her crowbar, and I think that she's going to do what she can. It's not like it's that she's built for that or anything, but it's the danger that's right there.
Okay.
Back out of there.
What if like sorry to interrupt. Is your character like, I want to know what she like looks like. Like is she like going crazy? Like is she terrified, or like what's the look in her face?
I think it's that she actually looks like kind of really grim and determined. Like I don't know if you've ever seen like when things have gotten really bad where someone just goes sort of like they clamp down. That's more what it seems like. It seems like she's ticking off a list of what she needs to get done here. It's almost this sort of, right now, this is the thing I have to do.
Yeah.
And she's very like on task.
You've probably been in the tow truck when your dad's gone to accident sites where they've had to pull people out of cars.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of feeling of that cold dread for a moment there.
Yeah.
Let's have you roll force.
All right.
Now, yeah. Look at that.
Thanks.
Now, you could spend luck, or you could invoke your pride.
I'll invoke my pride in the sense that I'm just as good as the boys are, and I think that what this is that's my pride is that I know more about people, so I don't think it fits.
Okay.
Pride is not just as good as the boys are. Does that help at all, or is that just a fictional position?
Hang on a second. That's just a drive. That's a thing that you're proving now for XP at the end.
I will use luck, lol.
Okay.
So that's just a reroll?
Yep.
Still no guarantee. It's a pretty low roll for me. I'm not about force.
Okay.
But I got a success.
Okay. So what is it that you want to have happen with this bullfrog?
I want to hit it at like an angle because I got a crowbar. So I'm thinking that I swing it so that sort of hook on it is what I'm swinging at it, is that hook. And she just wants to smack it down to the ground so Butch can take care of it.
Okay.
With the follow-up.
So Butch, she crowbars this toad out of the air in front of you.
Oh, yeah.
It flies like a baseball towards you.
Yeah, it flies like a ball, and it's like just like a maneuver. Get ready. It counts like, yeah, home run, hit it.
So I want you to roll force for me. Not because it's a question of whether you're going to hit it or not, but I have another issue here.
I just picture the scene where it's going in slow motion, and we just see like swinging this thing, and then it just like this does like a cut to our faces just getting covered in frog bits.
So you will hit it, but it does hit, and some of this orange stuff splatters from it on you, and you're gonna have to mark a condition. But it does explode. Robot parts, metal wings, frog bits, all of that come kind of crashing down.
Do I choose the condition, or do we choose the most appropriate one, like injured, or do I choose the condition?
I'll let you choose the condition.
Yeah, I think I'm going to mark scared, because this is like all this acid falls on me, and even though I was like just a second ago in my game hitting the bullfrog, I was like, oh no, it's burning, trying to like take off the shirt, and the butt is like probably also like burning from this, had to like throw in the butt. I'm like a little bit scared right now.
And JJ, at this point you'll hear Tiny come running up, overcoming this armored dog comes running up, overcoming its fear, they're barking.
Oh, now you're brave. Now that it exploded, you're brave.
And I think you four will be able to gather yourselves up. You're probably going to have to go and regroup, go look at these things, get another shoe, all of this stuff. So I think since we are at time, this is a good point for us to stop. We'll take up sort of post regroup next time. I do want to do XP for everybody, if you guys don't mind.
If it's okay, I would love to do like one little quick like thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go ahead.
Yeah, I think I'm asking JJ, like my primitive medical understanding is like the way to deal with this like acid burn on my back is to get him to rub mud all over it. Like the mud is like like a poultice, that's going to be soothing it.
That's ridiculous, JP. That's just dirt. No, we need to get some of this moss and lay the moss down, because that's nice and clean and absorbent. And then we use the mud and your shirt to sort of wrap it up and seal it in there. You got to use science.
Yeah, and I'm like looking at you like you know everything. Like you're the smartest guy I ever met.
She'll come up and she'll have picked up that like little tin of baking soda that you packed in there, because MacGyver always uses baking soda. And she'll go, and she'll actually go up to Butch and go, here, put this on the acid stuff. So she's like using that stuff.
And I just imagine it like, because baking soda goes everywhere. So I just imagine me covered in baking soda with this like wild eye, and I'm like cussing. I'm like, fuck, ow, shit, ow, and then like this mud's getting thrown at me, and I just look horrible. And I'm missing a shoe and covered in mud.
It is a mess.
And I'm just doing because I'm a year younger than them. So every time he has one of these cuss words, I'm just doing the little like, like shame and laughing all at the same time.
Perfect.
Yeah. Before we face the black, I just wanna ask my good old buddy Paladin JJ, hand me the healing potion. And I totally imagine there's like a little like bowl of like a strawberry juice or something.
It's a Jolt Cola.
It's a Jolt Cola.
Yeah, and in a really dramatic way, I just like take the closing. How do you call the closing of
cap?
potion? Yeah, I just like take the cap off and just like drink it, and Yeah, I feel so better now.
And Jolt. Ugh.
Yeah, Jolt Cola is like 3,000% sugar and caffeine, so you'll
Yeah.
be feeling great for about an hour.
So here's a question for everybody. Did you participate in the session? Yes. So everybody gets to mark an XP for that. Have you gotten in trouble because of your problem or your relationships, Pavel? I think yes.
It's kind of, I
You
didn't
got
really
yelled
know
at.
what my parents were about, but something maybe about my brother. So, but
Yeah, I'll give you a point for that. Patrick?
I don't think so.
Okay. What about for JP?
I think like I actually didn't understand. Like I didn't know the rules regarding XP, so I
Sure.
just wrote my problem to, I don't know, like it's just as what I thought would be a problem for this kid. But
Sure.
I think like we got to see, I don't know, like my nice mother, like putting up with me, and then me just being a total shit to like every single person I met.
Yeah.
And it didn't help me at the store, and it certainly didn't help me at the nature center. So maybe.
Yeah, I'll give you a point. Sherry, I think you had problems because of your problem.
Yes. Yes. Dang it, the sweatshirt doesn't keep me safe all the time.
Yes. So the next question is, did you use or struggle with your pride? Pavel?
I didn't use it, and use or struggle. No one calls my chicken. No, it wasn't a problem, and I didn't use it. So
Okay. Okay. Patrick?
Yeah, I did use my pride.
Okay. Then you can mark an XP. And I think you did as well, JP. You used your pride, right?
No, I never used my pride. What does it mean to you struggle with your pride?
So what is your pride?
My pride is I ran across the roof of the school during class.
So it would be essentially that whole people expect you to be a daredevil kind of thing, I think would be.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. So
did you feel forced to be the daredevil in any of these situations?
I think that was the whole thing where I'm gonna get this frog.
Okay.
I think that was me being like, yeah, I'm gonna do the thing that makes everybody. Because now that I'm reading these, I think there's overlap between my pride and drive, and I think very often, I don't know if I need to reword that or how, if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Between sessions, you're always allowed to modify those.
Yeah, I might, because at the moment, my pride and my drive, I think every time I satisfy one, it sounds like I'll satisfy the other, and I don't think that's fair. So
fair enough, but I'll give you an XP for that.
Okay, sure.
Sherry, what about you?
It's interesting. My pride is I know more about people than they realize, and I think that in some ways there's a little bit of play off of that with JP, that I know he's full of bullshit.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like a particularly prideful situation, which is why I sort of.
No, but I think that's fine. I mean, that's how we interact with those things. So that's a point. Did you put yourself at risk for the other kids, Pavel? Actually, I think all of you did. I think sneaking up, going and running.
Yeah, I've wondered.
Yeah, I think everybody gets that. And then the last question is, did you learn something new? And yes, I think as a group, you all learned something new, so that's a point.
Mm-hmm.
When you have 5 points, you can spend that to buy a skill. You can never save more than 10 points, so you do want to spend those. And I will go ahead and stop the broadcast. We're going to take up next time. We'll see where we kind of fall out from that, whether we start the next day or whether we start in the immediate aftermath of that. And we will resolve that. The way you clear conditions is by interacting with your anchor. That's how you do that. So we'll probably have you narrate scenes of how you recover from those things. All right, I'm going to stop the broadcast.